Today's topic comes from a viewer by the name of the Piss Goblin. Let me make sure I have this right. So let me just read this real quick. Yes, the Piss Goblin says, "Please talk about crayons. They're my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and I really wish that my favorite video maker, Nisei Nama, would do that. So please talk about crayons. Thank you, love, the Piss Goblin." Well, the Piss Goblin, I have to really think about this for a second. Crayons, I mean, I haven't really used crayons that much, except for when I was a child. I guess the last time I used them, I was at one of those Italian, I was trying to think of what kind of cuisine it even was. I was at an Italian restaurant, and they had one of those little tablecloths that were actually paper, and you could draw on them. I used crayons on that because there were small children that came with us, and I thought, you know what? Why the heck not? Why not make a masterpiece? Why not make a fleeting masterpiece that they're gonna throw away as soon as we leave? And I thought it was quite beautiful. It was a beautiful landscape with a sunset, and I was on a boat. Well, it wasn't me. It was just a boat. It was just a boat, and looking out on the beautiful blue ocean, talking about. I wasn't talking about anything. What do you mean? What do you mean talk? There was no talk. It was a masterpiece. It was a beautiful drawn masterpiece. And I have a confession to make. I'm sorry, that was completely a lie. I did not draw that. I didn't draw it. I didn't draw it at all. I drew like a stick figure, and it was smiling, and it was probably happy to be alive while it was alive before it got thrown away and got a bunch of spaghetti dumped on top of it. I'm sorry for lying. I know that from now on my integrity will be in question, but please understand that there's nothing I can really do about that. I had to lie. I had to make you guys think that I was a great artist. I really wanted to be a great artist in your mind, at least for a second, but my morals got in the way, and you know what? I was lying. I've never drawn anything of any renown at all, except for a few things. I guess I have drawn a few things. You know, I actually own a book. Okay, I guess you can determine how good I am at drawing from this fact. I have a book on anatomy specifically for drawing. Now, just because I own the book, keep in mind, just because I own the book doesn't mean I actually use it, okay? It doesn't mean I've actually used it at all. It doesn't mean that just because I've studied it, I'm any good at it. But I do own the book, you know? So extrapolate from that. Do I own a drawing tablet? I sure do. I sure do own one, but what does that mean? That may not mean anything. It just means that maybe I wasted $200. Who knows? But crayons are pretty cool, I guess. You guys ever get the huge, like, 64 pack of crayons when you were a child and you sharpened them in the little crayon sharpener? Did anybody actually use a crayon enough before losing it to actually sharpen it? I wonder if that has ever happened for a small child, ever. I mean, aside from eating it, which I guess you could eat it. I mean, it's made for children, so it's probably non-toxic. What are crayons even made out of? Is it like some kind of weird plastic? Or it's not chalk, so it's not like calcium chloride or anything. I'm gonna feel so stupid if that's not what's in chalk, but I'm pretty sure that's what's in chalk. I'm not sure what's in crayons, but I think they're supposed to be non-toxic. I really wonder, you know, do the crayons taste different? I was kind of a freak when I was a kid, and I had all the things that kids liked doing, like eating things that were small. I was completely averse to them. I didn't like small things very much, and I didn't like putting things in my mouth, to be honest. And it was mostly because I was grossed out by some kids that I knew that did do that, and I didn't like the kids, which is why I didn't do it. I changed my behavior because I didn't like the kids, not because I necessarily was predisposed to not liking doing it, which I guess makes me a shallow and weak individual. But that's neither here nor there. I haven't had any reason, I guess, to buy crayons recently. But I was a weird kid. I was definitely a very weird kid. I was never... Okay, well, I was about to say I was never much of an artist as a kid, but I did take a summer art class one year. My parents signed me up for a summer art class, and I remember I drew a big pirate ship on a stool, and I painted it. and it was very beautiful. I also did a bunch of still lifes, of course, as as a child does, because it's very easy to just look at something and draw it, you know? I feel like anybody, it's like the Ratatouille, anything anybody can cook, you know? Anybody can draw if they just have the recipe, aka the still life right in front of you. I feel as though anybody can do that. And it's also, you know, just a good exercise in general, I guess. That's why artists use a lot of references, is just so that way you can basically draw the form and then use your imagination to fill in the details. But a noteworthy thing that happened while I was at that art camp, it wasn't really so much a camp as it was I went to this lady's house every day and a bunch of other kids did as well. And her son was in high school at the time. I think I was like 10 years old. And her son always would sleep in until like noon or 1. And for me, when I was a child at that point, like even sleeping past, I don't even know, 7:30 was unheard of for me. I couldn't even believe that somebody would sleep until noon. I was telling my parents about it and they were like, yeah, whatever, who cares, right? But I was like, I didn't even know you could sleep that late. I didn't even know it was possible. Like, how do you sleep that much? And then, you know, I think you know where it goes from here. When I was a teenager and it was the weekend, well, let's just say I was more than capable of sleeping until 1, heck, even 2 p.m. All right, so that kid was not anything special. Anybody can do that. Stop trying to act like you're better than me because you can sleep for a long time, kid. Nowadays, though, I wake up. I don't know if this is because I'm old or maybe just because I'm weird, but I always wake up at like 7 a.m. at the latest. And I've done this for years. Even if I don't have anything to do, I will wake up at 7 a.m. I don't know why. I will say I go to bed very early, like 9 or 10 p.m., which is pretty early, I think, for an adult anyways. I feel like midnight is the normal bedtime for adult, but for me it's more like 9 or 10, sometimes even 8 if I'm tired, you know? If I'm tired, maybe I'll go to sleep at 8 o'clock. Look, it's healthy, man. It's healthy to go to... I feel like it's healthy to wake up early, but also, I don't know, I kind of like waking up early. I feel like when you wake up late, like you lose your whole day. It's kind of upsetting. It's upsetting to me when I lose a whole day. You know, we only have so many days on this freaking planet of Earth, and I don't like wasting them. That's why I wake up at 7 a.m. and then play Elden Ring for 8 hours. So that way I don't waste my day. That way I definitely don't waste my day. As you can tell, the background, I didn't even realize this until just now, but for some reason the Elden Ring video game is on behind me. But it kind of worked out perfectly, didn't? Like, look at this ambiance. Maybe this is cheating for having any distractions at all, but like, look at this ambiance right here. It's so beautiful. It's so much better than the Resident Evil mansion, which a lot of you in the comments, by the way, have said that you've been trapped there or you dated a girl from there. I don't believe you. I don't believe you even for a second. I don't think you've been in the Resident Evil mansion. Now, have I been in the Resident Evil mansion? Well, I live there, so that's kind of a whole different thing, but I've never played the Resident Evil video game, but somehow I don't believe that a lot of you have been there and dated women from there. Okay, I doubt any normal people actually live there. Now that I think about it, it's probably mostly monsters, right? Do people live in the Resident Evil mansion? I don't actually know. I don't actually know if they do. If people live in the Resident Evil mansion, I guess let me know. Maybe I'll play the video game at some point. I've definitely played a lot of Silent Hill, but I haven't played a lot of Resident Evil. I did play Resident Evil 7, but I don't even know if that counts, because that was kind of a whole different thing, wasn't it? Like, it was kind of a whole different thing from regular Resident Evil. Regular Resident Evil is more like Resident Evil, I don't even know, 4? I played like the first couple episodes of Resident Evil 4, but I didn't get very far. I got to the castle. You know the castle in Resident Evil 4 with the small child or whatever who's a Revolutionary War general or something? And there's a bunch of like mages and stuff that live in his castle. That's as far as I got. I also remember, what else happened? There was people's heads exploded and there was like weird tentacle monsters coming out of them. And what else? There was like a giant, right? There was a giant, or was it a dog? Maybe it was a giant dog. But I think there was a giant. and you had to fight it. And maybe there was a dog involved. Maybe a dog was uninvolved. I don't really know. I'm looking through the mail and I'm not seeing any gosh darn viewer mail today. So I guess I'm just gonna end it